Okay, so this is our second video. We're identifying the type of conic section, and then we're going to go ahead and solve the system. So first things first, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to look at this guy, and I'm going to notice I only got one square. So this top guy is a parabola. And then I'm looking at this bottom guy, and hey, I got my A right here, I got my C right there. They're both 1, so A is equal to 1, C is equal to 1. So this guy is a circle. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and solve this system. So I'm going to rewrite it here because I just kind of drew all over that PowerPoint. And we'll just kind of get a fresh start here. So I got y squared is equal to 4x plus 13. And hopefully you're already thinking, I'm going to go ahead and just substitute these guys, right? I got a y squared is equal to this. So I can just plug that in right there. And so that gives me x squared plus 4x plus 13 is equal to 25. And I have a quadratic that I can factor. So I'm going to go ahead and set it equal to 0. If I subtract 25, that would give me a negative 12 is equal to 0. And the two numbers that add to 4 but multiply to negative 12 are 6 and 2. And so my x's are 6 and 2. Negative 6 and a positive 2. So basically I have a circle. I'm going to go ahead and draw the graph back on the PowerPoint presentation. I have a circle that's centered at the origin with a radius of 5. And I'm looking at these two solutions, and I'm looking at my parabola, and I kind of have a general understanding of how to graph this parabola, and I know it's going to open to the right. So I don't know exactly where it's going to be, but I'm thinking we're going to be something like this. And so this negative 6, it doesn't show, there's no type of intersection here at negative 6. Okay, so I don't know, I mean I do know, but we're probably looking at this saying, I don't know why this is not looking like it's going to work, because I should only have these guys who are intersecting right here. So what's going on with this negative 6? So let's plug it in and see what happens. So we have two x values. We need to find our y values. Let's go ahead, shrink this down a little bit, and let's go ahead and let's plug in the negative 6 and see what happens. I'm going to use the y squared equation because that's set up to solve for y right away. So when I plug in that negative 6, I get a negative 24 plus 13 y squared. Oh, look and see what happens here. I get negative, not negative 9, negative 11. And because this is a negative value, when I take the square root, it's going to end up being an imaginary value. And I cannot have an imaginary value. So the negative 6 gives me a value that doesn't work. So that's why we're not seeing anything graphed right there. So let's go ahead and let's do the 2 and see what happens. So when I put in the 2, I get y squared is equal to 8 plus 13. So y squared is equal to 21. Take the square root. That does work, plus or minus root 21. So my 2 points are going to be 2. And to simplify things, I can just put the plus or minus with the 21, with the root 21. And there we go, that's my solution. So this negative 6, it didn't make sense when it first crept up, because if I look over here, the parabola, knowing what it was going to kind of look like, what I have here in blue, was going to cross at 2. You know, not the best graph, but there's some sort of crossing going on when x is 2, but nothing over here when x is negative 6. The reason for that is because it's a extra value that doesn't work. Okay, we got our two solutions here, 2 positive root 21 and 2 negative root 21.